Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for being here. I am so happy to be here. My name is Sheila Ingram, and I'm ecstatic, totally ecstatic about being here with you today. Thank you for tuning in to what? My pop up, the Etiquette Hour pop up. If you would just give me 1 second, it caught me off guard, but I am here with you and I really appreciate your presence. I want to talk about etiquette and manners. I want to talk about etiquette and the difference between etiquette and manners. They are two different dynamics, and we're going to get into it. But right now, I want to share with you who I am and why I'm here. I am here because I'm excited to talk to you about the etiquette. The etiquette, and people have been talking about it all over the place. Like they're talking about we need to bring etiquette back. I said that we need to be, and I asked the question, should we bring etiquette back? Should we talk about etiquette? Some folks say, no, we don't need it. That's the days of old. We don't need that anymore. We don't need to talk about etiquette. No, people do their own thing. We don't need to have manners. Well, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I want to talk about it today. I really, really want to share with you about the importance of etiquette, the importance of etiquette and manners. That's what I want to talk about. And so I hope you're with me. I hope you're ready to jump into it. Let's get into it. I want to share with you that let me just give you my credentials. Let me give you my credentials, right? I have gone to the Etiquette School of Protocol and in Atlanta, Georgia. And I came back with the manuals of the Queen of Etiquette in Georgia. And I want to talk a little bit about some of it today because I think it's very important that we keep this in the mix. Etiquette and manners are so important to us. And so my name is Sheila Ingram. You've tuned into Bravo with Sheila. And it's a nice afternoon here on the East Coast. And I just want to just have a little fun with you. It is a pop-up. I won't be with you long. I do want to share with you some things that are very, very important to us, to society, to our young people. We need to instill and reinstill the importance of good manners and etiquettes. And good manners are important for considering the feelings of other people and being the kind of persons that others would like to respect, right? We want to talk about that, being thoughtful, being cheerful, generous, cooperative. We want to talk about all these things. Manners are important to make a good impression, a good impression. Choose your words wisely. Think things out before you speak. Don't speak loudly. Speak with respect to others. Yes. Do not ever speak of boldly in a bold way, right? Calm yourself. Always respect older people. Oh, that one. We've thrown that out the water. We've just gotten rid of respecting the elders. Hold the door. Speak highly of your parents. Do not swear. Everything has changed. Everything has changed. What has happened? Good manners are simply respect and consideration for others or being aware of the needs of others. They are the oil which lubricates the friction of interpersonal relations and creates a happy and successful society. So let's give respect today. Let's get into it and let's keep it moving. I'm telling you, I believe that we have absolutely gotten rid of all of some of the important things that matter with our youth, our young people, young adults, old adults, seasoned citizens. Listen, it doesn't matter your age bracket you're in. What matters is that manners matter. Manners matter. Again, thank you for being here. This is Bravo with Sheila. You know, this is the place where I come and we chat about different topics related to women, life, in general. Men can tap into this because in this little series, this is part one. And out the gate, we're going to talk about fundamental, foundational tips on etiquette and manners. We're going as if we're childlike. We're going to bring it all the way down. We're going to bring it all the way down so we can come all the way up in understanding or reinforcing or remembering. Listen, brush up course for you. You may know this stuff here. You may understand everything that I'm going to speak about. But I'm telling you right now, when I left that school certified as an etiquette consultant, I was so ecstatic and happy. The tools that I left with. And I opened up an etiquette hour school in North Carolina. I was in North Carolina. I'm originally from New York, but the Lord sent me to North Carolina. I was there for around 7 years, and I had different schools. I had youth programs. I had like 5 companies under one roof, right? The Lord gave me a 6,000 square foot building, and I began to put programs in, built studios, recording studios, computer labs, and the etiquette hour. Yes, yes, yes. And our young girls and young guys, they found so much fun in the way I taught them etiquette. And so listen, I'd like to do that today. I like to start at the ground floor. So let's jump into it. And I want to start out with talking about thank you notes. I know you're saying, who does that? No one does that anymore, Sheila. No one writes a note. No one sends thank you cards. They send a text. And I get that. I do understand that. But it's so awesome when you receive a card or a thank you note for something that you've said or done. It shows appreciation. Some things should not be thrown away. You know, I'm a little old school. A text, a nice warm text, and then you can get any kind of card and send it on the text. And that's really received from the heart you send it. But sometimes going to the mailbox and being surprised by a note card, right? A note card where you write your own note inside here. I like to get the note cards that have something in it. This one happens to be called Peace, right? So let's get into thank you notes and letters. Those of you who are old school or just like to buy cards and send cards out, let's get into it. The thank you notes and letters are like short visits with people on paper. They should be nice to look at, natural and interesting. Write a salutation like, Dear Uncle Jim. It is the same as saying hello. That's how you start it. Write clearly and carefully, your very best penmanship. This is the only mental picture a person has of you. Write what you would say if the person was present. In the letter or note, more than just your name. For a closing, write with love. Yours truly, fondly, right, etc. Depending on how well you know the person. Now, don't get all mushy if you don't have a relationship with that person on that level. Just keep it simple. But let's talk about how you write a thank you note. Let's talk about that. Thank you note format. A correct thank you note consists of 4 sentences. The first sentence is about the gift. The second sentence is about the gift. The third sentence is unrelated. And the fourth sentence is about the gift. How many sentences did I say? 4. 4 sentences. Let's talk about a little example here. Say someone is saying to me, thank you for the information you gave on your Bravo program. I just wanted to drop you a line. Maybe someone wants to thank me. They'd say, Dear Sheila, it was such a great treat to jump into your program and get into the chat and to catch up on some of the things I thought would never come to me for as far as information. I admire your progress and will return the favor back to you as I believe I'm doing now by saying thank you. I do hope that one day we can meet. That's it. That's it. 4 lines. Then you can say, maybe we'll have room next year or in the near future to have a chat. That's it. It's a thank you, not 2 paragraphs. And then you say, thank you for the delightful show that you did last week. Fondly, you put your name. There we go. That's the thank you note format. 4 sentences. The first line, what? I heard you. The first line, yes, is about the gift. The second line is about the gift. The third line is about something unrelated. And the fourth line is about the gift. Okay, let's keep it moving. This is just a pop-up. And remember, we're starting from the ground up, fundamental, right? This is for boys and girls and young teens and old teens and seniors and young adults. That's why I'm telling you, these tips today will reinforce what you maybe already know or teach you something new. etiquette is across the board, right? And today we're talking in terms of the foundational principles, some of the things that we take for granted or that we don't even know about. Let's talk about the cell phone. Uh-oh. Let's talk about the cell phone. Let's talk about when you're on a date. Let's talk about the cell phone when you're in public, on public transportation, in a public place. And you're screaming and you're loud and everyone is inside your conversation and other people are totally annoyed by you and you have no regard for the surroundings. You have no regards of the etiquette protocol for cell phone use, right? So let's look. The whole point of dating is to spend time with someone, correct? The effect is lost when your conversation is punctuated by the ringing of a cell phone. Nobody wants to play second fiddle to a cell phone, right? You want the attention. Keep everybody happy by keeping phone calls to a minimum. Number one, leave your cell phone at home, which I know that's not going to happen. This is days of old. I know you're not walking out with your cell phone on. Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am. No one's leaving their cell phone at home, right? No one wants their calls to go to voicemail. It seems like everyone that's calling is important. But if you're on a date, you got to curtail this. You got to trim it a little bit. If you must carry your phone with you, then make it less intrusive by using the silent, the vibrations and put it on vibrate or something or put it on silent. Number two, avoid potentially embarrassing calls from former boyfriend or girlfriends by using caller ID. If you're out on a date and you're still in contact with your exes or calls that you know would be inappropriate that would interrupt your date with this person, then you need to check yourself and you need to put it on silent or put it where this person won't notice it's another female or another male calling you and they're on a date with you. And what makes it worse, you pick the call up. Listen, to check the number before you answer, you got to check the number. Oh, wait a minute, who's calling me? Oh, hold on, excuse me 1 second. No, that is rude. Don't do that. Don't do that. There are exceptions when there's an emergency, but in general, it's a no-no. Incoming calls are bad enough, but making a call during a date is even worse. Did you hear me? If you anticipate absolutely having to make a call during the date, right, you need to let the person you're with say, can you remind me at 7:30 that I have to make an important phone call? Would you remind me? That's bringing that person into your world totally on the date that they're on with you. It's diplomatic and it's showing that you care. You're caring about their feelings, right? So by saying that to them, their feelings don't get hurt and they understand that you're considerate of them. Number four, and a rare exception to the do not force others to overhear your conversation. Did you hear me? Do not force others in your conversation by being so boisterous and loud. You should make this call with your date present. If there's someone you have to talk to and it's an important call, you should make it while the person is present. You don't want to be in this type of relationship. I don't even want to say if it's a relationship, say a date. And you don't want to say, excuse me, and then you go somewhere private and you're talking, not unless it's business, right? And you don't want to give a person that feeling. Ordinarily, such behavior would be considered rude. It would be. But under circumstances, it reassures your date that this is an important call, meaning you're still at the table with her. Honey, I'll be right with you, whether it's him or her, whether it's a female taking the call or a male. Bring them into your space. I don't want to stay too long, but you get my drift, feel my drift about cell phone etiquette. Here's a big one. Shaking hands. Let's talk about it. Our official greeting in the United States is what? Shaking of hands. Yes, it is. And when we meet someone, we usually shake hands. Boys and girls, young men, young women, seniors, whoever. That is our custom to shake hands when we're introduced to adults. Now, I shake hands, and I've been shaking hands for years, and I shake hands if I go for a bank meeting, if I'm meeting someone new. And sometimes when a female does that, it takes a man back for a second, like, oh, okay. And the way I shake hand, I give a firm shake, right? You have the character comes out within your shake. You don't want a flimsy, like, wet rag type of shake. It doesn't prove anything. It doesn't show you. Some people don't realize what's inside of shaking a hand. Shaking hands expresses personality. It is the claps. It's the claps that is important, not the shake. I said it's the claps. It's the grip. that is important, not the shake. Like I said, you could shake someone's hand and it looks like a little raggedy dish rag because it has no oomph to it. It has no grip to it. You don't want to hurt anyone. You want to just give a firm shaking. Yes, yes, yes. No one likes to shake hands with a limp dish rag. I said that to you. A handshake shake in the U.S. is a gesture of courtesy and must be firm enough to express warmth and strength. What did I say? What you say, girl? I said warmth and strength. There you go. And as you shake hands, I want you to make eye contact. I want you to make eye contact. Be confident. Be sure about yourself. It says a lot. It speaks volumes. When introducing someone, speak distinctly and face the person so that every word is heard by you. Be confident when you're approaching people. Be confident when you're introduced to certain people. If you're in corporate, if you're just meeting someone important, whoever it is, just be confident so that you come across that you know who you are. That handshake means a lot. Try to give some lead in conversations, something like, oh, hey, how are you? Sheila, this is Joe Turner. Joe, I went to elementary school with Barbara. Barbara, I want you to meet Joe. I want you to say things, say the name, approach the conversation and the introduction with the name. When you're introducing someone, it's like the tide. It's like a tide. They go out and they come in. The tide goes out and it comes in. So bring the introduction in and bring it out and close it, right? Here we go. Listen to the name of the person being introduced to you. Listen now, this is something I have to get better with because I tend to not clock the name when I'm introduced to someone. And I get upset with myself that I didn't pay more attention to the name. And then as quick as they say it, it leaves my mind. And I'm like, I'm fumbling. What did he say? What did she say? Her name? What did they say? I don't like when that happens to me. So listen to the name of the person being introduced to you. If you do not understand the name, there have been times I've been in other countries and I didn't understand. And I want to ask them again, what did you say your name was? And so the proper thing for me to do is say, I'm sorry, I did not understand your name, right? That's polite. And then you'll get the name back, right? Okay. So that's that. Let me keep it moving. This is a pop-up. This is not a long convo. This is the beginning of our pop-ups. This is part 1 of the etiquette hour, and manners do matter. Manners matter. I tell you, when I had my school in North Carolina and I would just have the kids come in and young adults come in, then I had parents saying, I want to take that. I need some tips. Suddenly it just opened up and we had fun with it, right? No judgment, just talking about everyday life, even talking about the etiquette when you go to McDonald's, showing the children how you place a napkin in your lap, right? How do you place a napkin in your lap? I have a napkin here. Let me see if I can open it. It's kind of a big napkin, but let's say if I'm out at a dinner and the napkin is on the table, right? I just happen to have this on my desk and I pick the napkin up. The first thing I'm going to do is fold my napkin. That's the first thing I'm going to do is fold my napkin and place it. I'm going to place the napkin on my lap. That's the first thing. Here we go on my lap. But notice the tips of the corners of the napkin, right? They're open. This is the part that I'm facing towards my inner body, not out. It's going to be in. And so that means that when food possibly will drop, I don't have to pick up the whole napkin. Why? Because I'm picking up the corner of the napkin and I'm dabbing and I'm dabbing and I place it back. I'm picking up the corner of the napkin and I'm dabbing and dabbing and I'm placing it back, opposed to doing this. No, that's a no-no. We don't do that. We don't do that. So that's how we do a napkin, right? It's more about a napkin, more to come later about the napkin. Let's go on. Let's talk about where to walk. I like this one. Which side of the curb? I grew up in New York City, and my mom would always say, Sheila, when I was a young girl, when you're walking with a boy or man or whatever, they always must be near the curb, on the outer skirts of you. You must be on the inside. They must be on the outside. I know what you're saying. I know you're saying that doesn't work anymore. We don't do that anymore, Miss Sheila. I'm telling you, bring it back. I'm telling you, Bring it back. I want you to I want you to bring it back. It's a wonderful expression. But anyway, let's keep it moving. Which side of the curb? Years ago, a boy or gentleman walking with a girl was expected to walk on the curb side. Today, people walk where it is the safest and most comfortable. I tell you, everything has changed. Everything has changed with some things we do not need to throw away. Young ladies, we need to know certain things. Let the man lead. Let him lead. Today's society, I know women just want to do everything. They don't know how to slow the roll. They don't know how to slow down and allow the man to be a gentleman. They don't give the a male an opportunity to even oppose, not to oppose, to present themselves as a gentleman, because we're always doing something first. We're racing. Slow down and let the man lead. Two girls and a boy. When two girls and a boy are walking together, guess what? The boy has three choices. I said you have three choices: curbside, inside, or center position. Bars. Yes, curbside, inside, or center position. That's right. You can choose if you're walking with two girls. Boys, gentlemen, you got a choice on that one. Now, here we go. A girl walking with two boys. A girl walking with two boys. What do you think? She walks between them. I said, get in the middle. Go ahead and get in the middle, my sister. Get in the middle in between these two strong gentlemen or these two young boys. Teach your children these things. Teach them. We want our children to be ready to go anywhere in the world, to the White House, to the Senate, wherever their desired goal is. We want them to go in any position, any formal environment, and don't feel threatened or embarrassed or have an anxiety attack because they're sitting in a room and they see all these knives and forks. They see the napkin. They don't know what to do with it. We have to give them the resources and the tools as if they're going to the White House, to corporate, to get this new job. That it will prove that these kids and these young people, even older people that don't know this, it's never too late to put these tools inside of you and learning what is proper, because you're still on your way somewhere to that place called there. So don't throw away these positive tips on manners, and etiquette. Let's keep it moving. I like this one. In the theater or the concert hall. In a theater or concert hall where there is an usher, what happens? I heard you. A girl follows the usher and her date follows her. The usher, the girl, the gentleman. The usher, the girl, the gentleman. Well, we're just in the theater, in the movies. We're not in a concert hall. The usher's not around. Well, the gentleman goes before the female, and he walks to the desired seat, the row that they're going to sit in. He steps aside and allows her to come in first. Did you get that? Ladies, let them lead. On the staircase, going up a staircase, a girl goes first and a boy follows. Well, listen, a boy walks beside a girl on stairs going down, right? Okay. Or I heard you, or he descends in front of her if space is limited. If space is limited, he's before her. Why you think? I'm going to let you figure that out for yourself. All right, here we go. The girl then moves in front of the boys and takes the seat. I'm sorry, I went back to something else. The staircase, right. So he can walk beside her if space is there. So if the space is limited, he goes before her. If space is there, they walk side by side. A boy escorting a girl. If a boy is called or a gentleman is called to escort a girl at a social or business function, reception, or dinner, guess what should happen? He should offer her his arm to take her into her seat. That's only right. Formal settings. In a formal setting, a boy should sit with the girl on his right side. What you say? I said in a formal setting, a boy should sit with a girl on his right side. His right side. You got that? I heard you. Revolving doors. In a social situation, when using a revolving door, a boy goes first. Why do you think? Again, I'm going to let you figure that out. In a business situation, the first person, regardless of the gender, you got a group of people, corporate, you just had lunch, everyone's moving, trying to get back to work, the door is revolving. It's no order. There is no order. You just get into place in place of the revolving door and move forward. On the elevator, this one too has been thrown away. Men jump in front of ladies. They don't hold the door. Men push you in the elevator. Women push men out the way. There's no courtesy. But if you're a gentleman, I know what you're going to do. You're going to step out of the elevator and put your hand to hold the door so the lady can come out. I know there's some of you still out there. I'm not saying you're not out there. You are out there. I'm telling you, you're out there. I know that you're out there. Listen, traveling to the different parts of the world, learning about different cultures and how people eat and the utensils, whether they, we use continental when we're cutting and continental dining and the zigzag. And when you're in a formal situation, a formal restaurant, if you're really in a a formal situation in terms of dining and an event, and you are there and you're finished eating and you're wondering, why is the waiter not taking my plate? Doesn't he see that I'm done? Well, yeah, he does. But if he's trained properly, he's not going to touch your plate until you put your fork and your knife in a resting position, The other thing that if you're eating and you're cutting, do me a favor, when you put your knife down to use your fork, place your knife at the top of the brim of your plate with the ridges of the knife facing you. The ridges of the knife rested on top of your plate facing you. I don't have a knife in front of me. Don't put the ridges going outward. In school, they tell us that means I want to cut your throat. They're just saying, just remember, don't put your ridges going outward. Bring the ridges in. So these things we're going to talk about. The formal, we're going to have some slides with formal dining and informal dining and zigzag and continental. And we're just going to go ahead and go in. And when I get the slides up, we'll be able to have fun with it. I'll probably go live, possibly. And we'll have fun talking about it and learning more about it. Let's bring this to a close. When to stand. Americans stand when the Star-Spangled Banner is being sung, correct? That's right. But a boy stands promptly when a girl enters a room. At least they should. They should. A girl enters a room, a gentleman, a boy should stand. He remains standing until the lady sits down, until she sits. Let her have a seat. Boys and girls rise for introductions. A host. Now, if you're a host, you're hosting a party, you're hosting something, a host should always stand to be introduced or to greet guests. Just don't get comfortable and get familiar with your guests. They are guests. That's what I want to say. They are guests in your environment. So treat them as guests. Boys and girls stand when approached and addressed by an older person. Here we go with one that's been thrown away, not respecting the presence of elders. Elders, we have to bring that back. Boys and girls stand when approached and addressed by an older person, and they remain standing until that person is seated or that person moves away. I know you're saying no one does that anymore, but why not? Why not? We need to. It seems like I'm a little delayed. I can see myself. Seems like my lips are moving slower than my voice, and I hope that's not happening. Young people do not sit until older people are seated. Let me bring it to a close. Remember, respect is the reason for standing. You can be wrong if you sit, but you cannot be wrong if you stand. I think that's enough for now because it's just a pop-up. But just remember the rules of introduction, the tips of introduction, the 4 categories used in helping us to introduce people correctly are children, teens, adults, and senior citizens. Children, teens, adults, and senior citizens. And there are 4 basic rules of introductions, right? And we're going to pick that up next time. We're going to talk about the introductions next time. This was a pop-up. This was a fundamental, foundational, little knick-knack type of etiquette hour where I'm telling you that manners do matter. And so we're going to carry on with so much information about etiquette, about how society has changed with etiquette, how we need to understand and teach our young girls about being respectful, about dress code, about being able to give them cell phone etiquette, business etiquette. Etiquette is across the board. Even young 3-year-olds get etiquette in their daycare centers. Etiquette is so important. Manners do matter. I don't know what happened to us where we became so rude as a people, but we need to bring it back. We need to teach our young people and give refresher courses to some of our adults about etiquette and about manners. Please, let's just switch the game up a little bit. Let's just grab some of the old ways, some traditional, not rules, I want to call them tips, so that we can be better to each other. We can respect each other better, and that we could move forward with the newer generation, the next generation, and the generation we're dealing with right now. And I'm telling you, we need to get a whole group, an auditorium full of young girls and young men. And we need to just have a cram course of etiquette 101, 102, 103, 104. And so we can get them prepared to get to that corporate world, that White House, that Senate. And they need these tools. We do not want any one of us or our young people to be invited to an incredible formal event, and there is a 5-course meal getting ready to happen, and it's a whole lot of different forks and spoons, the parfait spoon, the water glass, the wine glass. We listen, we don't want to be anxious. We don't want our people to be anxious. We don't want people fumbling around and saying, no, I don't think I should go, because in their head they're thinking, I don't know how to act in that type of environment, because they're fearful that they will embarrass themselves. And if you're ever at a table, my sister or my brother, and you happen to wind up there by accident or by invitation, and there is a whole lot of glasses and silverware and everything sitting around, the charger and the dessert and everything, and you don't know what the heck is going on because you're used to one plate, one fork, and one knife. Listen, all you have to do is sit there with your cute self, your handsome self, and look to the left, look to the right, look to the left, and just watch someone and doing what they do, pick up that salad fork instead of that dinner fork. Just watch them across the table. Fake it till you make it in this type of situation. Don't ever feel threatened. There's always a way for you to learn. So if ever you're in a situation and you have not been taught the tools and how to move in a room like that. And for instance, you're in a room, you're at a cocktail party, and there are all these corporate people, but it's no chairs, it's no sit down. And they have an open bar, and they have glass wines with the long stem, and they have dessert plates. And you want to have the drink in your hand and the dessert plate in your hand, and you can't eat your finger food because your glass is in your hand. What do you do? What do? You take that long stem glass and the brim of the glass, and you gently put it on the edge of that plate. And now you have the glass held at the tip, and you have this hand free to eat. And your stem, your wine is here, your drink is here, and you're able to do. There's just so many things for us to learn in terms of etiquette and manners. So I want to thank you once again for tuning in and being here. This was part 1 of the Etiquette Hour, the Etiquette Pop-Up, and I will be back soon to give you more tips and more love and more understanding so that we can grow together and learn together and teach each other together, right? There's no shame in our game. All we have to do is want to change, want to grow. You have the will to do it, and God has given you the ability to receive it and to walk in it. So stay well, but always remember, when nothing changes, nothing changes. So what do you have to do? You have to keep it moving. I want to put this up real quick before I say ciao. Now, I'm going to say to you, ciao, keep it moving.